Hey guys, Ozzy here, coming at you from Brantford, Ontario, representing Blue Diamond Studio, and today we're going to talk to you about protein. What is protein? What purpose does it serve? How much should you be having? How often should you be having it? And yeah, so let's get right into it. So, what is protein? Protein is basically the fuel your body uses to repair itself, right? There is three macronutrient groups. So we have carbs, fats, and proteins. Carbs and fats are energy sources. Protein is what actually repairs your muscle, repairs your organs, repairs anything in your body when there is damage, right? So it's very important to be having more protein, especially if you're being physically active and you care about maintaining or building muscle, building new tissues, etc., right? So, okay, how much protein should you be having each day? That range is 0.75 grams to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight for active individuals, right? People that are inactive can get away with around 0.6 grams per pound of body weight, or even less than that sometimes. They don't really require a lot of repair since they're not moving that much. So a lesser amount is just fine for them, right? But for us, people who work out, if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you work out or have some aspirations of working out. So let's talk about why that range is so diverse, right? So at the 0.75 grams per pound of body weight range, you have people that are overweight and have a bunch of fat to just like burn, right? So if you're dieting, or even if you're not dieting, and you just have a bunch of fat lying around in your body, you can afford to eat less protein because the chances are your body won't be using the protein you consume as energy because you just have an abundance of energy just kind of lying around, right? So then that means you can just basically eat less protein, right? What's another scenario where you could be eating less? So let's say you're average fit or very fit and you're in a caloric surplus. So let's say you burn 3,000 calories a day and you're eating 3,500 calories a day. Well, you can afford to eat less protein because you have a 500 calorie surplus, and things like insulin spikes from carbohydrates and things like that can be sparing to the protein that you're consuming. So you won't need to eat as much protein. Now, on the other end of the scale, the 1.5 grams per pound of body weight scale, why do they need to eat so much protein? So they need to eat so much protein because maybe they're dieting aggressively, right? Maybe they're an Olympic caliber athlete, or even someone who is just training twice a day, right? If you're training twice a day and you're eating in a 500 calorie deficit, so you're eating 500 calories less than you're burning, you might need more protein because your body's you're breaking down so many tissues, and you're also not eating enough calories to spare that protein, that you need to eat more protein to make sure your body's not using that protein that you're eating for other processes, right? And so that you can maintain your muscle mass. So for the general person, that you're just working out and you're going around your day and you're not working out twice a day and you take days off and you just eat reasonably at like a maintenance or a little above, I'd say around a gram per pound of body weight of protein per day would be absolutely reasonable, and you likely wouldn't need any more than that, right? How often should you be having this protein? So 4 times a day is around the optimal range. The science says anywhere from like 4 to 6 times is optimal. 5 and 6 times isn't necessarily better than 4. Under 3 is definitely worse than 4 amount of times to be having protein. Now, if you can only afford to have protein, let's say twice a day, you're very busy, you can only have breakfast and dinner, I would say have a slow digesting source of protein. So you can search for a casein protein supplement, or you can eat things such as meat, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Those are slow digesting proteins. So those are proteins that will stay in your body longer and release over a longer period of time. So if you're having this large amount of protein, it won't be just getting absorbed and used immediately and leave you catabolic as soon as something like, say, whey protein would have. So if you can only afford to have protein twice a day, or God forbid once a day, don't have it as a protein shake. I would rather you eat it as something solid that takes longer to digest. That way it stays in your system longer, and you can have the benefits of it longer, right? Here's something I really want to touch on that I know a lot of people talk about, like the qualities of protein and blah, blah, blah. But like, I feel like a lot of people don't actually like understand the concept. So let's look at a slice of like whole grain bread, for example, right? A slice of whole grain bread might say it has like 5 grams of protein in it, or 7 grams of protein in it, right? And it sounds like it's a lot, but in reality, that quality of protein, the amount of actual protein in it that you derive from it would be probably half of that. So let's say it says 5, it's probably like 2.5, because it's a low quality protein. It doesn't have the amount of amino acids in it to form full proteins that you would want ideally, right? So you want to stick to higher quality sources of protein if you can, like meats, like eggs, like whey protein, like cottage cheese, vegan protein powders. There's tons of good sources. Just search up online high quality protein sources and try to generally stick to those. It's fine to have it's fine to count some of the other proteins. Just understand that if you're getting almost all your protein from just like grains and stuff like that, you're probably going to have to consume closer to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, because the quality of your protein is lower, right? Okay. Now we've gone over that. What are some other benefits? So some of the other benefits of eating protein is the fact that it has a high caloric burn, or slash high thermic effect of food, right? So when you eat protein, only about 70% of the calories from the protein that you eat is actually stays in your body or is used by your body after it's done the digestion process, right? Protein molecules are big. They actually take up a lot of energy and heat to break down. So once they're done breaking down, only about 70% of that energy that you consumed is actually left to be used anywhere, right? And even better is that a lot of the protein is just partitioned to repair in the body anyways. So you can eat, if you have a lot of protein in your body, you very, very likely won't store a lot of it as fat, if any of it. And it's just really helpful in maintaining a lean physique because of that property, right? When you eat things like carbohydrates or fat, you're using about 90%, 85 to 90% of the calories that are coming in from it. And your body has a lot easier time storing those things as fat, especially fat itself, because it is quite literally fat, but as opposed to protein, right? So it's really good to consume protein because of that reason. What can be some of the cons of consuming too much protein, right? Well, a lot of protein sources are dairy sources, so you have to be careful that you're not taking in too much lactose, right? Most of us aren't lactose intolerant by definition, but everybody has a certain lactose threshold that they can consume before they start having like stomach upset or gastrointestinal issues, etc., right? So be very careful when you're having a gallon of milk a day, or you're having 2 whey protein shakes a day, or a tub of Greek yogurt or whatever, because it definitely will cause you stomach upset, and it might cause you inflammation and other things like that, right? So if you find yourself, let's say you're vegan or vegetarian or something like that, and you have a hard time like eating like these high quality proteins, and you're supplementing with a whey protein shake, etc., try a shake that doesn't have lactose in it. Vegan shakes are great because we all, like I said, we all have a certain number of lactase enzymes in our stomach. And once you've gone past that limit, basically what you end up with is indigestion, right? So that's probably the number one side effect of eating a lot of protein, is when people consume too much dairy. And bodybuilders will go through this a lot, especially when they're first starting or first getting used to like the eating of bodybuilding, because too much dairy products just wreaks havoc on your stomach, right? Lastly, for the people that are worried about like their livers or the kidneys or whatever, unless you have a kidney problem, or one kidney, or you suffer from some sort of kidney disease, or maybe even like fatty liver or something like that, ask your doctor beforehand. But otherwise, people that are completely healthy, 0.5 grams of protein to 1.5 grams of protein per day will only give you benefits, right? There's a lot of studies and a lot of literature that shows that it has no effect on your liver or kidney function, right? As long as you don't already have a problem like that, right? I know that people that have kidney problems, they generally want to consume less protein, but like I said, that's only for people that have bad kidneys. And in that scenario, I would talk to your doctor and see what you can do to consume the best amount of protein for you, right? And yeah, okay. With that, I'm going to leave you guys. Make sure you leave a like and a comment below. Leave me some questions if you have anything to ask me, if you have something you want to say. I'd love to interact with some of you guys and help you out. So yeah, with that, kudos and peace, and have a nice day. And I'll see you next time on the channel. Yeah, take care. Bye.